Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Marie Fleming with us, and Marie is in the Sacramento area and working in the alternative lending space. So Marie, it's great to have you. I'd just like to hear a little history of how you got into this particular part of the world.
Hi, Bruce. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the warm welcome. I got into the alternative lending space primarily because I had been in finance for a while. So my start was in residential, and eventually evolved into commercial. I had met a great group that was here in Sacramento, and they really got my light bulb on and intrigued me into getting into commercial many, many years ago. So that was my intro. I really liked the business aspect of it, the mentality, the mindset, and really helping people create legacy. Something different from residential.
But that was kind of standard lending, kind of standard commercial brokerage.
Yeah, that was standard commercial brokerage.
And then you kind of pivoted into the alternative side of the space.
Yes, yeah. I pivoted into alternative. The group that eventually went underneath me, my underwriter and processor and team, really had this mind for doing difficult loans, and they were fascinated by it. And they're like, let's create a niche, right? In this industry, everyone wants to create a niche, something that they specialize in, that they're very good at, and that's the space that we started into, and it just stuck, and we did well at it, and here we are still. Yeah.
Here we are still. So how is the world of alternative lending these days?
I think it's not going anywhere. I think
Oh, yeah.
we need it. Yeah, we need it. We need
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So, we find the market still to be quite difficult these days. Banks, I think, are still very tight in their lending criteria, underwriting process. So it's nice to have those clients that need us, and more than glad to flip it back to a bank when they're ready, and they're whatever problem they might have with their loan structure or their own personal persona, then we flip it back to the bank, and but we're more than glad to help those clients.
So what's your typical length of loan?
You mean how long does it take to close a loan,
Well,
or?
that's also interesting, but I was thinking more like when you flip it back to a normal conventional loan, how long do you typically stay in the alternate lending side?
It really depends on how proactive they want to be on
Yeah,
what they're doing,
yeah.
and what the problem might be, right? So it can take a year. Sometimes it takes 5 years to get back there. But yeah,
Are you doing any construction lending?
construction lending, yes.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think that's especially predominant right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and multifamily, construction lending, whatever commercial category they're in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And we also do a little SBA. We can provide aggressive SBA terms, and also alternative SBA. So if your traditional SBA turns it down, we have other lenders that will be more than glad to take a look at it.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard about the alternate SBA world. Give me a little clue about that.
Yeah, it is interesting. So, say you might have your traditional bank that we join, uh, join up with, and want to do a transaction. sometimes they might think the transaction is too complicated, and we might want to use another lender that kind of is already in the alternative space. I'd like to use some names, but we'll keep that out of it. So,
Right. Yeah.
and they're going to be maybe a little bit more creative in the structuring of that transaction. So, example, recently we had a school that came to us. They were looking to purchase another property, a secondary location, SBA, and they needed some creative structuring in order to get that done. They wanted to buy it SBA. We got two different quotes. One was from more of a traditional SBA lending source, and one was considered more alternative. The alternative lender was able to get them a very similar type of rate, maybe a little bit higher, but they were able to get much more creative, yet helping them keep more money in their pocket to be able to do the acquisition. So that's the example that I could give you.
No, that's interesting because I just recently did kind of a pro forma from two different SBA lenders, and I was sort of surprised at the difference between the two. So
Yeah.
apparently, I was thinking SBA was fairly regulated and fairly standard from lender to lender, but apparently there are choices that can be made along the lines.
Yeah, yeah. And it varies from bank to bank also. So if a bank provides SBA, it's surprising that you can, sometimes it can be a point, even one or two, points in interest rate. So it's good to shop around.
Yeah, yeah.
Come to someone that knows what they're doing and can shop that for you.
It sounds like the banks are still holding pretty tight to their particular criteria that they're not lending very freely these days. And so the alternative space may be a place where people need to look to try and find loans.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, obviously the feds did not cut their rates recently. Any predictions on where the world might be going these days?
Who's to tell, Bruce?
Yeah.
We have to look into the crystal ball and see if we can predict the future. But unfortunately, I don't see rates really making much of a move. I think they're going to be staying the same, and it's really going to boil down to how good of a transaction you can actually get or bring to the underwriting table. You have to conduct your due diligence when you're doing a loan, right? So
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So it always gets a little difficult these days to make it come together. But so you said earlier that you're using some AI in your both in your marketing and in your kind of processing world. So give me a little clue about what's going on there.
Yeah, with our marketing, we can get much more creative, and it really any type, even from creating a simple flyer to doing some marketing that we might be doing. AI is able to hop in and really cut time. And when we have a very difficult transaction that comes up, it takes a lot of manpower, and we can get AI involved and help us analyze something that might have taken us a few days down to a day. And it's really, I don't think AI is going to take over the world anytime soon, but it definitely helps us manage our time more effectively.
Yeah, no, I found the
Yeah,
same thing. I think that's so true. You can occasionally do things much more quickly than in the past.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so I'm curious, how far and wide do you lend throughout California? Do you go elsewhere? What's your territory?
We like to stay in our a backyard, Bruce, it really in California, but we do lend in other locations, Texas seems to still be a hot place to lend in, and we're in Florida. Um, the only state that we really won't get very creative with is Nevada still.
Oh,
We seem
okay. That's interesting. Their regulations are just too cumbersome to mess with.
Yeah, well, it's they require for proper licensing, I believe you still have to have a brick and mortar there. And we don't want to put a shop at every single state, we want to have the creativity and the liberty to still stay at home and talk to people all over the country.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't want to end up with the office in Reno just to have an office in Reno.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I'm very fond of Reno, I love the area. Frequently go to Nevada myself, but it's just too difficult to lend there right now.
Well,
So.
that's interesting. I didn't realize that. And most other states are fine. Some states you have to use an attorney to go through.
Yeah, yeah, like New York, seems to be a very fickle state still to do that with. Sometimes we just develop the relationships and do a handoff and refer it to someone in that state. It's an easier way to go, and we still create a win-win for everyone as long as they take care of the client. We want to have a relationship with them.
So I'm curious, marketing nationwide, how do people find you?
That's a good question. So I would say they could either find me online or just pick up the phone and give me a call. So
So, but it sounds like a lot of your business comes from word of mouth.
it does. We've done a great job of really meeting some great people here in California and developing some relationships, and they send us clients on a regular basis. We also try to have a on-site website and presence online to where people can find us, but mostly it's word of mouth, and people are able to get a hold of us that way.
That's fantastic. So give us a clue. Where can people find you, Marie?
They can find me by emailing me. My email address is Marie Fleming at goldbridgecs.com, or giving me a call at 916-407-6057. And more than glad to just have a conversation and guide them the right way.
Well, in this world of lending, I think it's great to have different possibilities, and it sounds like you have a great possibility for people that are kind of running into a sticky wicket with the regular banks.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Well, let's keep in touch.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.